And we're back seconds later after talking about Bird Box. All right, now we're talking. What is the name of the
Bandersnatch.
Black Mirror, Balderdash.
Balderdash.
Yeah,
Ooh,
Bandersnatch. Between Bird Box and Bandersnatch, we have a couple of saucy titles for you here tonight. You have probably seen every. Have you seen every
I've seen
episode
every
of Black
episode.
Mirror? Okay.
You're always like I'm like, you want to watch this? You're like, I don't know. I'm kind of not in the. I don't really want to get in a bad mood today.
I want to be depressed. Black Mirror is an excellent show, and I've not seen every episode of it because it is not a show that I can binge.
I can binge it.
I can't. Like, I can't binge Black Mirror. Like, I really need to kind of space it out between episodes because I'm like, I'm usually depressed after one episode, let alone watching several in a fucking row.
I can binge watch it. It's, yeah, I love that show.
It is a fantastic show.
Yeah, I'll be like, do you want to watch it? Like, I don't know. I don't feel like being
like,
depressed today.
We would just watch, I don't know, this is something...
New Girl.
So we watch something that won't make me want to throw myself out a window. Which that leads into the one we're about to watch. We're about to talk about now. There is so Black Mirror Bandersnatch, which I think just premiered on Netflix like either last night or the night before. This is it's not that it's a new season that's out. This is I guess you would call it a movie. It's an interactive movie. So it really is trying to do something really innovative with the Netflix format to where it is a choose your own adventure movie. And there have been movies like that in the past, like Mr. Payback off the top of my head. But this is one where setting up everything to watch this movie was actually kind of funny because we're at your folks' place, so we have Netflix through the laptop, but we just hooked it up to the TV so we could watch it through the TV. So we weren't sitting there like with our Netflix remote or anything like that.
Yeah.
So at first I was like, oh man, am I gonna have to get up to because the wire only goes so long. So I'm like, oh man, am I gonna have to like get up every like 30 seconds? Like, oh, okay, he's having Frosted Flakes right now. Okay, he's listening to this song. All right. But then so we set that up and we put the laptop on the couch, but me being ADD as shit like I am, like, wait a minute, I can't sit here and look at the TV with like the laptop monitors staring at me in the face. I'm like going nuts looking between the two. So we like switch places and we were like calling out like choices to you on what this dude to make. So it's
stress me out.
Yeah. So it is this interesting experiment that they've done, which is like, yeah, again, it's this interactive movie and you're choosing between a couple of, and it's not like it's something that only happens every now and then in the movie. No, it happens quite a bit. And the idea of it being this interactive movie is worked in pretty well to the plot.
Yeah.
The plot, which takes place in 1984 and is about a dude who wants to adapt this choose your own adventure book written by a guy who went insane and killed his wife afterwards. He's adapting this book into like this Commodore 64 game where it's a early 80s choose your own adventure video game, and it's about him trying to adapt that into this game and also going more insane throughout. He's also going insane throughout the film, and the plot has to do with like the choices you make and these alternate realities and parallel universes that are kind of going along, and even you yourself making these decisions for him kind of do become a character in this film as well. Like it starts leading into where you're kind of the one that's making this guy insane. You do sort of, at one point you do feel like you're a character in this, especially when you kind of do start communicating with this guy where
That's
like,
one of my favorite parts.
yeah, like Netflix becomes mentioned in this film where on his old computer screen it's like, I'm from the future and I'm controlling your every move.
Yeah, because you can choose. It's like because he says in the movie, "Who are you?" and who's controlling me, basically.
Yeah.
And so it says like on the computer screen between the choices of saying just Netflix and the other one's like a symbol from the book that he was reading. And so we chose Netflix the second time, and it's just like I am on a streaming site and I
Yeah.
am from the 21st century and I'm controlling it.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's Netflix? And
They really do play with
funny.
they really do play with this being an interactive movie, and when you hit one dead end and it goes back, that works itself into the plot, because when it goes back, things do happen a little differently. Like, he's aware that this has happened before, and so the dialogue might be a little bit different. And also, again, like I said, like the plot itself having to do with different choices and how that leads into different areas. So it really does feel like it kind of is necessary for this to be an interactive movie, because it's just part of the storytelling that it's doing. And so we're sitting there, you can choose things like what kind of soundtrack it's going to have, and what he's listening to. So we're sitting there like going like, Thompson Twins, pick Thompson Twins, and like, he's holding the Tangerine Dream album. Pick that. So
I love the soundtrack to this movie.
Oh yeah, because we picked the right soundtrack.
I know. I loved it.
Yeah, so the sound, and we're sitting there fucking this poor guy's life up. Meanwhile, we're also simultaneously trying to save Will Poulter.
I know. There's a couple times you can kill him.
No, don't kill Will.
Yeah.
No, I don't want Will Poulter to leave this movie. We're keeping him.
Will Poulter's great in this. There's a part, like, if you can choose between seeing, like, the therapist or Will hanging out.
Follow Will Poulter.
His name's Colin, but we'll just call him Will Poulter.
Yeah.
And so he ends up talking about, like, the parallel universe kind of thing, and that we're actually just being controlled by some higher being, I guess.
Yeah.
And bringing up Pac-Man, and PAC stands for program and control. So it's
Yeah.
basically we're just Pac-Man, and it's just like, if you die, it doesn't really matter because your other life, but you're going to be something
So
else.
let's jump off a roof.
Yeah, so it was either between killing yourself or killing Will Poulter. We're like,
No.
kill Stefan.
I'm sacrificing myself to keep Will Poulter alive. I still want to live in the alternate universe where he plays Pennywise the Clown.
I know.
I feel like that's a much better universe.
I know, he would have been perfect.
Yeah, he plays another game developer in the movie who's like kind of this genius whiz kid at creating different games for this company. And so he is, like you said, he's the one who, when they drop acid, he's the one telling this character about all the different realities and everything. And we, like you said, we are doing our damnedest to keep Will Poulter in this movie for as long as possible.
He's great. He's a great actor.
He's a brilliant actor.
He's so fun.
I didn't even know he was in this until he showed up, which is like the best Will Poulter, where you don't even know he's in it until he pops up. Like the third Maze Runner movie, when he shows up, like, oh, thank God.
But he had to do that role in order to stay in the franchise. He had to give up the
I think
Pennywise.
so. Yeah, because he was.
Role.
I think that was it. He was contractually
Damn it, Will
obligated to be in the third Maze Runner. But yeah, no. So he's in this as well, and I thought this was very entertaining. Like, it's definitely good for, like, if you get a group of friends together, and it's entertaining enough. It keeps you invested in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't so much. I rarely really sat there going like, okay, whichever one of these, I don't really care as far as the choices go. Like, no, I was invested enough into this story going along to...
Yeah, we were trying to destroy this guy's life. We were making him the shittiest person ever. Because there's some choices where it's like, he's being, pretty cool. And then there's some where you're like making him an asshole. It's
yeah.
Like, so there's that.
Right. No,
But,
certainly.
But at the end, like, when you're kind of done with the game, it does take you back to do different choices that you didn't get to pick, to see what the other realities would have been, and they're pretty interesting.
Which does make... I did like that they did do that, because narratively speaking with this movie, I do wonder what I would have thought about it necessarily if it didn't have this gimmick, because when ending credits popped up in this, I seriously thought this thing had, which I guess it kind of does in a way. Like, I was seriously sitting there going like, wait, it's over? This feels like we're only in the middle of the second act of a story, and it's showing me ending credits right now. So I think a lot of endings that you get are going to be really abrupt. And they do, and when you kind of do go down a wrong path, it does play with that a bit, where a guy comes out and he's reviewing the game that you're manufacturing in the movie, and what he's saying kind of goes along with that particular ending of the story, where he talks is like, well, this game ended abruptly, like, he'll say things like that about it. But when you take away like a lot of the choices and everything, and you kind of look at it as this 3-act structure, it sort of does feel like it really is only about 2 acts of something, because no matter what you choose, it does sort of feel like it ends abruptly. Now, what the movie does smart in that regard is that it does keep going after those ending credits happen. So you do feel like you are kind of seeing this larger story in like a Mulholland Drive kind of way, honestly. So that kind of made up for that a little bit with me.
And some of the realities are creepier than the other one that you would have picked.
No, yeah, absolutely.
And I like that. Like, there is one where when he breaks into the safe, and it's do you need it? Do you need it?
The car's falling asleep. No, it's
I'm
fine.
really boring.
Yeah.
There's a point where he like tries to open the safe, and you can put in there's either toy or pack, and if you pick pack, I thought that was kind of creepy, because it's like, I don't want to ruin it, but do you remember?
Oh yeah, I remember.
I thought that was creepy. The story alone it's more interesting than it is creepy. Like, a lot of Black Mirror episodes I find creepy and kind of weird and disturbing, but this one was just kind of interesting.
This one was entertaining.
I didn't think it was creepy.
It was funny. There are funny moments in
yeah.
it where it turns into an action movie at one point.
Yeah, that was funny.
It does keep it pretty fun and entertaining. I won't say there's anything in it that I thought was necessarily scary, because the movie is, because it is this interactive film, it is random, and so again, and that it deals with all these alternate realities, and it's showing us different versions of each one. It is sort of just kind of a series of scenes that by the time there really isn't a third act in this thing. It does just sort of end in a way, kind of, where if it was a more traditional piece of storytelling, things might have been a little bit more fleshed out in it, but it still does work as an interactive movie.
It was very fun.
No, it is really, really entertaining. It's basically a much smarter and literally more interactive The Butterfly Effect.
Yeah, it really, oh god, I used to love that movie, but then I watched it again, and I was like, I don't like this movie.
This is better than that.
This is way better than that. Like, for one thing, I like the main character. He's kind of
in this?
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't like him, but you kind of see him, like, his descent into madness, you know? And he's kind of just going crazy and kind of working himself to death, and just kind of starting to realize he's being kind of controlled, and you kind of start fucking with him a little bit more, and you just start doing these things just to make him go even more insane.
Yeah, and that's why I really appreciated that it still kept going another 40 minutes after you first see ending credits.
Yeah.
Because if it seriously just went back to the Netflix menu, I would have been like, this, okay, I mean, it was fun while it lasted, but really? But since it does keep going with all that and just seeing how much more mad this guy can get, it is like a sort of just a series of just, no matter what timeline this guy's in, everything is just fucking insane for this dude.
I know, well, this guy's basically fucked for life. Like, there's no good happy ending for this guy.
But it's also, again, like I said, like aware that it is a character that is aware of all of these other timelines that are going on. Mm-hmm. It is that is incorporated into the plot of this film. It is really smart with that. I would like to, if they're going to do something else like this again in the future, I'd be curious to see it. What worries me is that if a gimmick like this is done more times, it might not be integrated into the movie very well.
Yeah.
Because in this, it's part of the plot line. You feel like you are kind of a character in this, and that every choice you make, you're seeing just the different levels of insanity this guy's going through. But, if something like this was to happen, like, again, and something that I could easily see it just not having anything to do with the plot line at all, really, just kind of being a gimmick, which even that could still be entertaining. Absolutely, it could be really, really entertaining if that were to happen. But I do like I really do like how they weaved it into this movie's story. So I enjoyed it.
There's also some Easter eggs in this too. They have
there?
Metalhead.
Yeah.
I think there's some other ones. I just missed them. I wasn't really paying attention. The one that really stood out was Metalhead, which is like, if you guys watch the show, it's the actual episode is called Metalhead. It's the one with the little robot dog, it's the one in black and white.
Okay, yeah, I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen every one of them. Do you have a favorite episode? Is that your favorite episode?
That one's intense. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. I like the Star Trek one, and also
That was the Jesse Plemons one.
Yeah, I like that one. Black Museum was really good.
That was good.
I like the one where she has to relive the same day over and over again as like a form of punishment.
Yeah,
There's another one with John Hamm was pretty good.
There's some of them. There's a few of them where they just kind of throw out a bummer ending just for the sake of there being a bummer ending.
Like which ones?
Kind of what happens to John Hamm at the end of his episode.
Oh, right.
Where it's like,
that was a bummer ending.
Like, you're just doing this just so I can feel miserable afterwards.
Yeah, the ending was kind of lame, but I like the whole, like, 3-story thing. Like, the same thing with Black Museum.
Yeah, no, the Black Museum one was really good. The one with the lesbians.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one.
That was
sweet.
that was really fucking good.
It was really sweet. That wasn't a bummer ending.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It's one of those rare episodes where it's like, I actually feel quite good at the end of this episode.
I kind of like the one with Bryce Dallas Howard also.
Oh, sure.
That one was pretty cool. It kind of reminded me of Ingrid Goes West. But
that one with Daniel Kaluuya, the second episode where it was like the American Idol dystopian type one. I really loved that one.
Yeah, that one was really cool. It was pretty.
Where would you rank this? Is this a hard one to rank in terms? Because
Yeah,
it really doesn't have a traditional narrative like
No, it's
the
hard to
other
rank.
ones.
I would, if you're a Black Mirror fan like I am, I would say check it out for sure. It's a lot of fun. You're not going to get the creepy factor or like anything like that, but you are kind of, you feel more involved in this obviously because it's literally interactive.
Sure, yeah.
So, you feel more involved, but it's not like creepy or like anything like that. It's just fun, and I say totally check it out.
Especially if you have some drinks and you have a group of friends together, you could probably have a good time watching this. I don't know. I don't know what the vibe would be like if you're just watching this by yourself.
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't sound as fun.
I don't know, but like, I would. Good, because like
I'm gonna destroy this guy's life.
Yeah, fuck this dude. All right, everyone. So I'm glad we could talk about a couple of more things before we're doing the con. We've got Wizard World New Orleans coming up from the January 4th through the 6th. So if you're around New Orleans on the 4th through the 6th, come see us at Wizard World New Orleans. We'll also be doing Wizard World Portland at the end of February. So check that out at wizardworld.com. And if you're interested in getting tickets for it, use our promo code, which is Cinema20, and that'll get you 20% off your tickets. So, all right, everyone. Take care. Happy New Year.